Hey guys, it's Nash Bueller. I'm back with our third installment. If you haven't taken a look at the other two videos, do check them out. They're kind of fun. On this one, I'm going to be telling a story about a home that I sold. It was actually some very close personal friends of mine. So it's going to be a little bit longer. There's a little bit more to it. A little bit more involved with some of the other members of the team. So let's go dive right in. All right, guys, so now we're back. So this one's going to be a little bit closer to home for me personally. It was a good friend of mine that I really wanted to fight and not believe in, but it kind of did creep me out a little bit. So this was a few years ago. I had some personal friends that had come up to me and they said we were out, we were grabbing drinks, and the husband had come up to me and he goes, "Hey, Nash, we're interested in selling our house." And they had bought this home 5-6 years prior to this and had been there for a little while, done a ton of renovations to it. It was a gorgeous home. And they had said, this is it. This is our home forever. So it kind of shocked me a little bit. And I was like, okay. So they said, well, can we start just kind of taking a look to see what else is out on the market? So we're walking through a couple of homes, and on the first home, we were taking a look at a home here in Flower Mound, and we walk in, and in the office to the right as you walked into the home, there was just this big, gnarly, brown, dark red stain right in the middle of the carpet. And they're like, "Hey, Nash, what is that?" And I jokingly said, "Oh, that must have been where the previous owner died." As soon as I said this, the wife just kind of gives her husband a look and just kind of glares at him. And then, so I pick up on it. I look at him. I go, "What's going on, guys?" And she goes, should we tell him? Should we tell him?" And I was like, "What is it? You have to tell me now." So my friend, the husband, looks at me and kind of rolls his eyes and goes, "Okay." He goes, "So this is the reason we're selling." So he goes, "My wife thinks the house is haunted." And keep in mind, I've been to this house countless times, 10, 20 times, 30 times over the course of the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I was like, so I laughed. I was like, "Oh, okay, guys, what is it?" So they have 2 daughters. And one of the daughters was probably 3 or so at this time, maybe 3 or 4. And they said, she had been coming up to them, and she had an imaginary friend. And she'd always kind of told them stories about her imaginary friend, which her imaginary friend's name was Rose, which when they told me that, I was like, seems like kind of an unusual name for a 3-year-old to know as far as names go, because that's not really a current name that they would hear something from. So didn't think much of that. And then they go, "Well, she's been seeing somebody in the house." And I go, "Well, what do you mean seeing somebody?" And she goes, "She's been seeing," she calls her the woman in black. She sees this lady who stands in a particular area of the house, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But she has the black, I guess you call it like a mourning outfit of like the lace face mask and just an all black dress. And keep in mind, she's 3 years old, so she's never seen any scary movies that she would be able to imagine this. Like, this is just pure unadulterated innocence of a child. And so she goes on about this woman in black. And then I was like, okay, so we get around to they're going to list their house. So I go and I sit down with them. I was like, "Okay, guys, you got to tell me more about this woman in black, this haunting." And they mentioned that she sits in one particular area between, it was kind of an office space that they had converted in the master bedroom. There's one corner of the room that she sat in particular. And their daughter had said, she doesn't like mommy. The lady in black doesn't like mommy. And I was like, well, that's kind of creepy. And the wife had said that there were times that she would wake up in the middle of the night and the blankets would be moved. And she kind of just tossed it up to, rolling around in your sleep, and didn't think much of it. But then their daughter one day goes, "Yeah, she stands at the end of the bed and pulls the blankets off. She doesn't like mommy." And she just kept saying she doesn't like mommy, which in and of itself is a little creepy. And I was like, okay, that's odd. And I was like, all right, so no big deal. And I was like, okay, well, and I don't really believe in ghosts. I'd love to think about it, but haven't really had evidence to. So one of the members of our team, our photographer, Taylor, who you've seen some videos with, She's a little bit of a hippie, so she kind of believes in that weird stuff. So I was like, all right, we're gonna test this. We're gonna test this. So she goes out there and takes photos. She's out there taking photos, and she's a nervous wreck. She's blowing my phone up the whole time, like, what am I doing? I'm like, she's always just very. And I told her that they thought that there was something in the house, but I never said where or what, or I didn't give her any details. I just said that they felt like there was something there. Take it as you may. So she gets to the house, and she's taking photos and just not, obviously, a little uncomfortable the whole time. So she gets back to the office, and I told her, I was like, okay, so let's hear it. Where was it? And she was like, oh, it was in the office. And I was like, nope, you're wrong. The office that's up front, that was up the front of the house. They had a little office space up there. And she goes, no. She goes, it's the office, the dining room. And I was like, nope, it's not the dining room. And she goes, no. In like the breakfast nook, and they'd opened their kitchen up. So there was an open space in the kitchen. They had the dining room table right behind that, and then they had punched the wall open through to an office and into the master bedroom for a second entrance in the bedroom. And she goes, no, it's right there from that office space into the bedroom. And I was like, oh, that is exactly where they said that this lady likes to stand. It was right by the bathroom, kind of coming out of the master bedroom. So it was one of those that it confirmed, because I had my crazy photographer telling me that she also felt this presence. And then here's this little 3-year-old girl who has no bearing or I've seen scary movies to be able to make this up. And she's saying that the woman in black stands in this area and that she doesn't like mommy. So fast forward a little bit. So we get the home sold, sells immediately. We don't mention anything about the haunting. Haven't heard anything since then about this, but I did follow up, and I had to ask permission for me to tell the story today. And they laughed. They thought it was great. But they did follow up, and they asked their daughter, who's now a little bit older, and she did say when they bought their new home with us that the woman in black is not there anymore. She's gone. She hasn't seen her. She did not follow him to the new home. It was one of those that, through a collection of different experiences, was a little creepy. I can't say that I ever experienced anything in the home, but it's one that's kind of stuck with me for so far. So, hey guys, we appreciate you guys joining us for the haunted houses, our little tour of the last 30 years. Like, subscribe. We'd love to have you guys join us for any other videos that we have. Comment down below. Thanks, guys.